and welcome to another video. And today I am talking about something a little bit different, something that I normally don't do on the channel. I don't dump on companies very often, at least ones that are smaller. But the topic of today's video, as you probably saw in the title, and I want to talk about limited run games. I want to talk about some of the problems they're having recently, and especially for people like me that are retro game collectors, what some of the problems are that need to be addressed. Again, like I said, the whole purpose of this video is just to bring it to your attention. If you are a retro game collector, you've probably heard of limited run games. If you are, to just kind of explain what they do, what their whole thing is, what their shtick is, so to speak. They make limited run pressings of video games that would not normally get a physical release. Now, obviously, in years, more recent years, they have grown, they've gotten bigger, they have a lot of different releases, and one could argue that they've gotten too big, but I don't necessarily think so. But they've definitely gotten a lot more opportunities in recent years than I think they would have in the past. They are now owned by, I believe, the Embracer Group. I want to say Embracer Group bought them at some point. So, but I am also not going to go over the history of this company in this video. There's definitely a controversy surrounding this company. There are many great YouTube videos that discuss this out there. I want to talk about current limited run games as it stands in 2022, not really the past, other than to explain what's going on here. So the first thing that I want, there's kind of three main things that I want to talk about here. The first main thing that I want to talk about problem is production time. Production time has gone up. Like everything, the pandemic really fucked shit up. There's no other easy way to say that. And with saying that, it really messed up, shipping for things, production of things. We still have a chip shortage, but in terms of this, I could go on for hours about the guitar shortage of 2021, how many manufactured guitars sat, like a lot of products, on a shipping container on a boat in the one of the harbors, mostly the harbors in California, big shipping yards. These things just sat there because there was just not enough workers due to the pandemic. So that's a topic for a completely different video, but that kind of thing definitely delays stuff from getting to you. But production time. Back in the day, and I'd say 2017, 2018, 2019, pre-pandemic, you could order a game from Limited Run and probably have it within 2 to 3 months. I'd say 2 to 3 months on average was pretty much the average, going part of this. You'd wait, you'd order the game, you knew what you were getting, you'd wait like 3 months, you'd get your little shipping update, the game would show up, right? After the pandemic, that has increased by 6 to 9 months for a lot of things. One game in particular that's behind me on my shelf, which we will talk about with this part of the video, it took almost a year and a half. That's part of the reason I'm making this video. But production time, how can you solve it? Well, again, I understand why production time is taking so long with this shit. And I think a lot of people I do. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, well, the pandemic's you're just using that as an excuse. No, that is a real problem that has caused issues here. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I am trying to make is that I think this company could really be more transparent with their fan base, with their customers, and they put out a weekly, maybe every 2 weeks newsletter that gets emailed automatically to customers unless you opt out of it. Put it in there. Hey, give regular updates on stuff that people have ordered. Hey, you know what? I ordered this game, 6 months ago. What's going on with it? And I think if you gave regular production updates, that would solve a lot of issues. Again, most people with common sense understand that the pandemic has screwed up shipping times for many, many things, and that production time is going to be higher because of this. But again, be transparent with your audience. Being silent, saying nothing, just makes people angry. and I will give an example. What do I have in my hand here today? I have the collector's edition for Nintendo Switch of one of my favorite video games of all time, my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. So they came out with this back in 2021. There was the digital, they put out a digital release, which I have on the Xbox for this game because I'm a massive fan. You can see my original copy is behind me as well for the Super Nintendo. Again, I love Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's a fantastic game. I never buy collector's editions of limited run releases. I always just buy the regular copy. I sprung for this because of how massive of a fan I am of this franchise. I ordered this in June of 2021 was the order date. I did not receive this until August of 2022 with no updates. And that's the point I want to make here. Over a year I waited to get my copy of this to put on my shelf, and I got no updates about it. That's really fucked up. I mean, that thing was over $100. I don't remember exactly. I want to say it was like $120. It could have been higher. Again, I don't spring for collector's editions from limited run, but I really, really fucking wanted that. And to wait an entire year and not get any updates, and then get a bunch of games that I ordered after that, I just got more and more angry as time went on. And then it finally shipped, and then it took forever, and then it finally got here. And like, at the end of the day, am I happy? Yes. I mean, that's a collector's item I'm never going to open because I already have digital copies. And that's another thing I will say about limited run. A lot of the stuff that I purchase from limited run is for collecting purposes only. I don't open these games, okay? Very few that I've actually opened, but most of them, like I said, Switch, PS4, and now PS5 and Xbox. You know, they just started doing Xbox games. Really, really cool. But I don't open these games because I probably already have them digital. If I don't, I'll probably buy it digitally just so I don't have to open it. The very first limited run game I ever bought, which I have right here, is Rainbow Moon. I bought it, this probably was 2017. And I'm going to be strict. I mean, this is limited run number 16, so it's pretty early in their career, right? And I'll be honest, like, for me, limited run releases like this take up probably 1/4, maybe 1/5 to 1/4 of my PS4 collection, and easily 1/4 of my Nintendo Switch collection. Like, chances are I'm probably going to buy, you know, a limited run copy of something for one of those two systems. Now that they're doing games for the Xbox, I'll buy games for the Xbox. But this was the very first one I ever purchased. But this leads me to my next problem. Again, when I buy limited run games, 95% of the time, I'm not going to open it. Now, I opened Rainbow Moon because it was a game that I didn't own at the time, and I wanted to see what this shit was all about. And like I said, as you can see, it's a physical release of a game that would not have gotten a physical release if it wasn't for limited run. Let's talk about the next problem I have, which, like I said, as a collector of sealed limited run games at this point, this is a major problem. I'm not going to open these games, at least for right now. I'm leaving them sealed. Can you hear a problem with this one? This is one of the most recent I got. It's BloodRayne Betrayal Fresh Bites, which is a re-release of the 2D, very excellent BloodRayne game that WayForward made. But what's the problem with this? You hear that? Oh, it's the disc is loose in this case. But I'm never gonna open it, so this disc is always gonna be loose in this case. And that's what pisses me off. I have gotten the last 3 to 4 releases from this company, not counting the zombies thing behind me, have been loose like that. And it's just frustrating. It's as simple as change your packaging. You know, they like to send these out in these little, you know, you think of like the little bubble mailers. That's basically what they're sent out in. Maybe rethink that. I know that's going to cost a little bit more, but at the end of the fucking day, you want to make your customers happy. And I know I'm in a subsect of people that collect limited run games. There are a lot of people out there that buy these, they open them, they play them, and they enjoy them. That's great. I have no problem with what you're doing. I leave them sealed because I tend to purchase ones that either I've already owned it digitally, or I will just purchase it digitally so I do not have to open it, just to have it as a collector's item. Limited run games, I'm not going to lie, limited run versions of games, sometimes they go for a lot of money. So I'm just going to load up my, phone's GameEye app here, and I'm just going to give an example of some of these limited run releases and what they are valued at now, sealed. For example, if I just switch to PS4 here, I'll give first example here. I own a sealed copy of both Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 1 and 2. Curse of the Moon 1 sealed is already $150. Like, wow. Like, I don't check this very regular, so... another one I have right underneath it, $85 sealed. I have Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Dark Devotion, that's another one I have limited run, $75. Castlevania Requiem sealed is still $60. Like Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, because I own both of them separately, $60. You see the point I'm trying to make here? Like, these releases retain their value. I have River City Girls open. River City Girls open is $57. Sealed, it's $65. So, like, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Is like, these games retain their value. If I were to go down the Switch, like, you're gonna see even higher prices. So, and as someone who already has these games digitally, I'm not gonna open them. So imagine my disgust and shock when I get one of those and the disc is dislodged in the case. But then the last 3 I've gotten have been that way. It's just extremely disappointing. So the second point of this video, I would say, is do a better job with packaging your shit. Very simple. Maybe don't use bubble mailers anymore. Does that mean cost is going to go up a little bit more? Absolutely. But at this point, you're owned by Embracer Group. You can probably do that. Third and final point I would make in this video would be how this company markets things. I think they do a pretty good job with marketing. They definitely, I'll say this past year, was it this year or was it last year? It was last year, right? They had their E3 non-E3 video. It was this year. I take it back. It was this year. They had their non-E3 E3 video that went through the releases they were going to be doing this year, and it was fantastic. I have to say, I forget the company. I want to say they worked with Mega 64, but they had a great showcase and really excellent marketing. And I have to commend them. Like, continue doing stuff like that, because you get people like my attention and it wants me to buy more stuff from you. So don't get me wrong there. But when you're going to market something, when you're going to market a product, please try to stick to the date that you're putting on there. And as we've said in this video, stick to that date. Let people know. Be more transparent. Tell people when something's going to get delayed. Because again, when I ordered Zombies Ate My Neighbors in June of 2021, I didn't receive it until August of the next year. The 5 games I fucking ordered after it, I got before that. It got so bad, it got to a point I told some of my collector friends, I'm done buying any limited run games until my Zombies copy shows up. And it finally did. So what are we fucking doing? There are other companies out there that do this too. Limited run is not the only one anymore. There's Super Rare Games. That's the only one I can think of. There's like 4 or 5 companies that do this now, but Limited Run is the original. They're the first company that started to do this, and they are obviously at this point the most popular. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be one of those snarky people who's like, I'm not going to order from Limited Run ever again, or whatever. Did I stop ordering games until my Zombies came? Absolutely. But am I going to continue to order games now? Yeah, I still have to order River City Girls 2, which I really need to fucking do that. But that's the point I'm saying. So this is kind of just a video to talk about Limited Run, some of the problems that they have, and some ways I think they can fix these problems. Be more transparent with your customer base. Improve your packaging. Maybe try to improve, if you can. Try to improve production times on stuff. And a really good way of improving that as well is maybe don't announce something until you're a little bit into production. Now, back in the day, I understand this couldn't be done because it basically worked like Kickstarter. You're saying, hey, we're going to make 500 copies of this game, so order it and then we'll put it into production. I'm sure a lot of it is still that way today, but I know there's games where they do deals with different companies. The Turtles Shredder's Revenge copy, for example, is one. Like, they were going to make those copies regardless of the situation. Most recently, they've announced they're doing the collector's edition for the Dead Space remake, which is a huge thing for a company like this to do. Again, I hope you have that in production right now, because holy shit, if you're not getting that into fans' hands come January, those people are going to be really pissed that they have to wait for their copy of the game. So at the very least, you better be ready to give out digital copies. That's the point of my video. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I know it's not a spooky video. I know it's October. You know, I should be talking about spooky things here. Thanks to anybody who has watched any of my Horror Fest streams this year, and for those that want to continue to watch it on the month of October. But like I said, I just wanted to get this quick video out there, talk about my issues and problems with Limited Run. I'd love to know in the comments below, what do you think of this company? Do you order a lot of games from them? Have you never ordered from them? Are you a collector? Do you collect retro games? I will be honest, the pandemic really slowed down my collecting of retro video games, and I kind of want to get back into it. I transitioned that into guitar purchasing, as you can see behind me. And guitar repair, resell, purchase new guitar, you know, continue the cycle. That's a hobby I have now, but I want to get back into buying more retro games now. The pandemic's kind of like at its tail end. So anyways, guys, yeah, let me know. Drop a like, remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.